Still needs a little work on the end. All right, so I attended my third jam session this week and I did something that I suggest you never ever do. Hey everybody, my name's Mark. Welcome back to 2000 Hours of Banjo, a YouTube channel, a YouTube channel dedicated to tracking my first 2000 hours of practice on this instrument, the banjo, to see if I can learn it as an adult beginner with no music history whatsoever at all. Never played anything as a kid. Nothing, not even like a kazoo. Anyway, I attended my third jam session this past Monday. It's now Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. So 2 days ago. And I did something I suggest you never ever do. I'm not going to bury the lead here. I passed on my song. So if you're not familiar with how a jam session works, certainly I was not until a couple weeks ago. You sit in a circle, everybody's got their instrument, there's a jam lead, or at least there is in this jam session. He, to his right or left, he will start letting people play the song that they want to play for that evening, and everybody else joins in. And he goes from person, and finally got to me. When it got to me, I said, no thanks, I will pass. And they said, okay, and they passed me over. Now, let me set some background here so I can kind of let you know why I passed on my song for this jam session. It started with basically a bad practice. Now this was on Monday, and I work Mondays. My day ends at 4 o'clock. The jam session starts at 7 o'clock. I brought my banjo to work thinking that I can practice well in advance and get a lot of practice, a lot of nice warm up before going to the jam session. Now, I kind of didn't. Work went a little late that day and I stopped working at around 5, but I still had a good hour and a half. It only takes about 20 minutes to get to the music store where the jam session is hosted. So I had a good hour and a half to practice, but it was like a really bad practice. Like I seriously just couldn't seem to find my fingers. I could never warm up in an hour. I've never had it where it took an hour and a half and I still feel like I wasn't warmed up. So not confidence inspiring at all. Regardless, come 6:30, I pack up my banjo, throw it in the car, drive over to the music shop where the jam session is, do a little bit warm up there, still not feeling good, still not finding my fingers, and then other people start showing up. A couple of new faces I haven't seen before, and they're bringing multiple instruments, which right off the bat is a bad sign because it means they really know how to play. If they've got multiple instruments or jumping from instrument to instrument based on what song's being played, that's intimidating as heck. So I wasn't feeling so good from the practice, and then these, I don't know, just like ringers came in with multiple instruments, and then they started playing the songs, and they were advanced. Like I'm used to songs with 2, maybe 3 chord changes. These were songs with 4, 5, even 6 chord changes, chords I'm not familiar with, and keys I'm not familiar with, and I felt completely lost. Now, adding to this was something that you guys have told me I should do, but I wasn't doing, which was learn what the guitar's chords look like so I can recognize them and kind of follow along. For jam session number 1 and jam session number 2, there was a 3-finger style banjo player that I was staring at. I would sit across from him in the circle and just stare at him and follow him, albeit a chord behind, but I could recognize some of the chords that he's playing and then, try to play along with. He did not show up. So I was completely without a North Star on this particular jam session. I felt super blind, super intimidated. I felt already that I was not properly warmed up, and the songs were intimidating as well. And I really wanted to there was a point there where I wanted to pack my picks up, pack my banjo up, and just kind of disappear into the bushes like Homer Simpson. It was daunting, and I felt horrible. FYI, if you think your first jam session is as worse as it can be, That's a negative. It can be worse. It can be much worse. Jam session number 3 was way worse than jam session number 1 by a long shot. And I wanted to disappear. I felt I wasn't contributing. Now I get it. I get it. Uh, my main point of going to these jam sessions outside of, it's supposed to be fun and social and stuff, which it isn't really yet, but it's to progress, to learn how to play this instrument better, to learn how to play with others. And I certainly wasn't feeling that on jam session number 3. I was way too lost. It was jumping into, I don't know, like advanced physics with integrated calculus, having, barely passed algebra or something like that. This was really way over my head. But the other thing that I feel like I want to do in a jam session is contribute on some level, somehow. And I just felt so defeated that I felt like there was no way I can contribute in this particular jam session. So when it came to my turn, I said, I'm going to pass today. And so they did. They honored that and they passed the song to the next person. Now, there are fewer people in this particular jam session than there was last time in jam session number 2 and jam session number 1 for that matter. So we were wrapping things up early, and I was already taking my picks off when the guy next to me, a dobro player, said, hey, we still have a bit of time, and Mark hasn't played. It's like, yeah, man, I passed, all right? Just let it be. And then somebody else chimed up. It's like, yeah, Mark, you should play something. And then the lead jammer, or the jam lead, whatever you want to call him, he's like, yeah, come on, Mark, just, give us something here. And so, again, with Cripple Creek being so raw of an experience and fresh in my mind from last week, I went back to what I did in the first week, which was boil them cabbage down. Now, I changed some things to give myself a little bit of advantage this time. The first thing I did was I asked the lead jam to pass the break around so I could focus on playing rather than trying to identify who's going to take the next solo or break. And he said yes, so that took some pressure off. The other thing is I said I wanted to lead with backup first and then go into my solo or break or lead or whatever you call it, and then pass it on so I can start getting the timing correct for everybody else to jump in. And he said, okay, go ahead. So I swallowed a big swallow, that lump in my throat, and grabbed my banjo, and I started playing the backup. And then went into my lead. And then the jam lead passed the break to somebody else. But then I did something that I didn't do the first time that I played Boil Them Cabbage Down, which is once the lead went to somebody else or the break went to somebody else, I went back to playing backup, just rolling backup again. Now, the first time I did it, I was so scared and petrified that I just kept playing the lead over again. I just kept, but I was just playing it really light. But that's what I was doing. I wasn't playing rolling backup at all. But this time I jumped into rolling backup and it felt kind of good. It felt pretty good. Now, I know some other backups for Boil Them Cabbage Down. I know Up the Neck. And I even know a little bit of vamping. But what's really rusty is transitioning into up the neck and transitioning into vamping from lead. I'm not very good at that. I'm not that bad with transitioning to up the neck, but I wasn't feeling very confident that day, so I didn't do it. Maybe I'll try that next time. That said, everybody got their chance to break. Then it was passed to me again. And then I felt like I finished nice and strong, and I felt good. I felt good. I can't believe that I actually felt good at the end of that jam session, considering how badly I just wanted to disappear right in the middle of it. But it still felt like I really wasn't contributing, even though I felt okay. I felt like I did okay. I felt like I tried something new, and that's good. And that I think progresses me a little bit. But again, I just didn't feel like I was contributing to the whole jam at all until after I packed up my picks and my banjo and I was heading out the door. And one of the intermediate players stopped me at the door and said, you know, it's actually really important for you beginners to play. And I really like it when you do. I'm an intermediate player, and when you guys play, you beginners play these easier songs, I feel more confident at taking a break and trying something new with my break, with my solo that I otherwise wouldn't on a more complicated song that I'm just already having a hard time keeping up with. So it's good that you guys, you beginners, play your songs. And that meant a lot. That meant, that meant I contributed. And that is the moral of today's little YouTube video and my caution to you. No matter how bad you feel as a beginner, no matter how outgunned you feel by these people, these multi-instrumentalists with their, crazy songs with all these chord changes, um, don't pass up on your song. Play it because it could still be benefiting somebody in there. You don't know. You could still be contributing. Certainly, you're helping yourself by progressing and playing, but you're also still likely contributing. So don't pass on your song. That's the moral of the story. All right. That's it for today. I wanted to get that out. Actually, I wanted to get that message out so bad I didn't even change out my work clothes today. Just note, we are at 731 hours. That is really good. We're progressing really good. I didn't think we were going to get to 731 hours this year because I had injured my finger a couple weeks ago, and that was like a 2 to 3 week setback. But we're at 731 and we still have the rest of December to go. I may hit 750 by the end of this year, which would be really amazing because I would be completely caught up from the 3 months I had to take off the year prior when I injured my finger on this hand. So this is really great. I have some practice to do. I have some recognizing what guitar chords look like to do. I will try to do a better job at taking the advice that you guys give me because you guys are giving me some really valid, good advice. Thanks for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.